And Oklahoma could lose more funding for tracking sex offenders if the state doesn't come into compliance with a federal law soon.
The law is supposed to create a connected system to track sex offenders across all 50 states. Sarah Goldenberg explains in a 2 News exclusive. Sarah?
Oklahoma is actually one of more than 30 states that aren't in compliance with the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act. As you can see, only these darker highlighted states have met all of the guidelines. In Oklahoma, officials say just one guideline hasn't been met.
A federal law intended to improve public safety has become a headache for some states. The Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act went into effect in 2006. States had until 2011 to comply with its guidelines on sex offender registration. This year, Oklahoma failed to do that.
We comply with everything in the Adam Walsh Act except for juveniles.
The act requires serious juvenile sex offenders to be listed on a public registry. 2 News found Oklahoma has only one minor listed on its juvenile registry.
All of their records are sealed. That is where they're saying that we don't comply, is because their records aren't open to the public.
Sergeant Judith Pounds with the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office says the state meets all other standards of the act, from registering sex offenders on time to tracking their addresses and employment.
We're under guidelines by the state, not only the Adam Walsh Act, but by the state.
But there's nothing law enforcement can do to come into compliance. It would take the work of lawmakers to add serious juvenile sex offenders to the public registry.
It's a matter of combining them and bridging them that we're not meeting, and we can't because the records are sealed.
Oklahoma lost $200,000 in federal grants this year for not meeting guidelines of the law, but it was eventually given that funding to work on coming into compliance. Sarah Goldenberg, 2 News, works for you.
Seems like a bit of a catch-22. Now, Oklahoma could be penalized again next year if no changes are made to its juvenile sex offender registry.